The asset illusion, why most people own nothing, even when they think they do, asterisk asterisk. There is a silent misunderstanding that keeps millions of people financially stuck, and it hides in plain sight. It is the belief that ownership automatically equals wealth. On the surface, this sounds logical. If you own things, you are doing well. If you have possessions, you are progressing. If your life is filled with items, devices, subscriptions, and property, it feels like movement. It feels like growth. It feels like success. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Most of what people call assets are actually financial anchors. This is the asset illusion. An asset is not something you merely possess. An asset is something that produces value without constant effort. Ownership alone is not power. Productive ownership ** is power. The illusion begins early in life. Society quietly teaches that accumulation equals advancement. Bigger house. Newer car. Latest phone. Branded clothing. More gadgets. More upgrades. More upgrades to maintain the upgrades. The cycle never stops because the system rewards visible consumption, not invisible production. People celebrate purchases more than they celebrate investments. They admire spending more than they admire strategy. This creates a psychological trap. The more you acquire items that drain money, the more successful you appear socially, even while becoming financially fragile privately. It is possible to look prosperous and be economically exhausted at the same time. The difference between an asset and a liability is simple but often ignored. A liability takes money from you consistently. An asset brings money to you consistently. Yet many liabilities are emotionally marketed as assets. A luxury car is sold as status. A high-end phone is sold as identity. A large house is sold as achievement. None of these are inherently bad. The danger is not in owning them. The danger is in misunderstanding their financial behavior. If something requires continuous payments, maintenance, insurance, upgrades, and emotional attachment while producing no return, it is not building your financial future. It is feeding your present image. The asset illusion thrives on visibility. True assets thrive on invisibility. Real assets are often boring. They do not impress neighbors. They do not spark applause. They do not always look glamorous on social media. But they quietly change financial direction over time. They generate income, appreciation, or leverage. They reduce pressure instead of increasing it. Consider two individuals earning the same income. The first fills their life with liabilities that look impressive. Their lifestyle expands as income rises. Every increase in earnings is matched by an increase in expenses. Financial stress grows alongside income because their structure is fragile. The second lives differently. They still enjoy life, but they deliberately allocate a portion of income toward ownership that produces returns. Digital products, intellectual property, small investments, skill-based services, equity participation, or scalable platforms. Their lifestyle grows slowly, but their financial stability grows rapidly. From the outside, the first person may appear more successful. From the inside, the second person is becoming financially untouchable. The asset illusion also operates through language. Words like mine, owned, and bought create emotional comfort. But financial reality does not respond to emotions. It responds to cash flow, leverage, and long-term value. A fully paid device that loses value every year is still a depreciating item. A modest digital product that sells repeatedly is an appreciating system. One drains quietly. The other builds quietly. Another layer of the illusion is maintenance cost. Many possessions demand time, attention, and energy in addition to money. Repairs, updates, replacements, subscriptions, and constant upgrades become invisible leaks. People often underestimate how much mental bandwidth liabilities consume. They are not just financial drains, they are cognitive drains. True assets, on the other hand, tend to reduce mental pressure. They create options. They create breathing space. They introduce flexibility. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" the question slowly becomes, "Is this worth my time?" The shift is subtle but life-changing. There is also a cultural influence at play. Modern culture rewards consumption speed. Trends change quickly, and urgency is manufactured. Limited time. New release. Upgrade now. These messages train people to chase novelty instead of sustainability. When novelty becomes the priority, financial strength becomes secondary. The asset illusion convinces people that progress is measured by what they can display rather than what they can deploy. Deployable ownership is different. It is ownership that can move, scale, adapt, or generate. A skill that can be monetized globally. A platform that can reach thousands. A small equity share in a growing venture. A piece of intellectual property that sells repeatedly. These are not flashy, but they are powerful. Another hidden danger of the asset illusion is dependency. When most of your financial identity is tied to items that do not produce value, your income becomes your lifeline. Lose the income, and the structure collapses. But when a portion of your ownership produces returns, income becomes a tool rather than a lifeline. This is where financial confidence is born. Not from how much you spend, but from how much you control. The illusion also thrives on comparison. People measure success against peers instead of measuring progress against principles. If everyone around you is upgrading liabilities, it feels normal to do the same. But normal does not always mean effective. Normal often means common. And common rarely leads to exceptional outcomes. Breaking the asset illusion does not require extreme sacrifice. It requires clarity and intentionality. It means asking a different set of questions before major financial decisions. Will this increase my income potential? Will this reduce my future pressure? Will this generate returns or only consume resources? Am I buying comfort, or am I buying capacity? Capacity is the real goal. Capacity to choose work instead of needing work. Capacity to pause without panic. Capacity to explore opportunities without fear. Assets build capacity. Liabilities build dependence. It is also important to understand that assets are not limited to physical or financial instruments. Skills are assets. Reputation is an asset. Network access is an asset. Intellectual property is an asset. Digital distribution channels are assets. Anything that can consistently produce opportunity or income without constant linear effort holds asset characteristics. The powerful realization is this. Wealth is less about what you own and more about what your ownership does. Two people can both own 10 things. One owns 10 liabilities. The other owns 10 value-producing systems. The difference is invisible at first, but massive over time. The asset illusion keeps people busy upgrading lifestyles. Clarity shifts people toward upgrading structures. When you begin to see possessions as either producers or consumers of value, your decisions change. Spending becomes strategic instead of emotional. Ownership becomes intentional instead of impulsive. You stop chasing appearances and start building foundations. And once that shift happens, something interesting occurs. You no longer feel pressured to prove success. You start feeling empowered to create it. Because the moment you understand that not everything you own is an asset, you stop collecting things. And you start constructing engines.